What's up, everyone? Coming back for the fourth edition of the LG Locks podcast picks. Grayson's traveling today, so he's not with us, but I'm just going to do a quick run through of NCAA football for Saturday, and then we are going to do an in person portion of the NFL later. Just to recap, I went 4-0-1 last week. Grayson's picks didn't make it in where he was at the bachelor's party, and then I'm 8-6-1 on the season, and he is 5-5 on the season. We're gonna start off with Penn State at the Big House in Michigan. Michigan's catching a touchdown at home. I think Penn State's defense is overrated. I mean, they gave up 80 yards rushing, but who have they played that runs the ball and has the O line like Michigan? I don't think anybody. I think Michigan is one of the most obviously talented running teams in the league, and then JJ McCarthy's thrown for 76% completion rate. So when you combine that, it's kind of hard to stop. I mean, at home, the defense is way too good. The offense is going to be something that Penn State's never seen. It's kind of hard to not take this. So I'm gonna go Michigan -7. I hate the -7. So it's that weird number, but I just think that Michigan's the clear better team in my mind, and it feels like at home in that big house that they're gonna at least cover on this. Next, we're going on down to Knoxville, singing a little Rocky Top because I'm going Tennessee plus. I think it's at 8 now. And it was at 8 last night when I checked it. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. Every game Alabama has played versus a good team, though, has been relatively close. Even Arkansas had them reeling going into the fourth. They just kind of went off in the fourth quarter to pull away from them. I think Texas, like I've said before, I think they should have won the game if Ewers doesn't get hurt. And even though they were without Bryce Young, Texas A&M had a chance. I mean, they had threw a goal line comeback 4 seconds late, down 4. I don't know how much I trust Tennessee's defense, but with Bryce Young coming back and not being 100%, I do still like it, but they are giving up a 307 yards passing. So I trust their offense enough, and that's the major thing. They're at home. It's going to be wild. Knoxville's going to be rocking. Rocky Top is going to be blaring, as much as I hate that song. So if you're going to give me a whole touchdown and now an extra point on top of that, even though the public's all over, I feel like I have to. This game feels like it's either going to be Tennessee somehow pulling out a crazy upset victory. Next, we got Oklahoma State versus TCU. This is another crazy shootout to me. This line has moved up to TCU -3.5 at home. We got the top 2 scoring teams in the Big 12, so this game is going to be really good. Oklahoma State does have the best pass rush in the Big 12, but their secondary has allowed over 300 yards passing, so I think TCU is going to be able to score on them. I think it really comes down to who can get that one stop, and I just, at this point, think with the way TCU is playing right now, I'm just going to have to go with them. They have the top-end speed and talent to win this game. Max Dugan has played amazing recently. Quentin Johnson has finally stepped up. Well, not finally stepped up, but finally got into a role into their offense, and Darius Davis obviously is a dog. So I know -3.5 is that kind of like weird number, but I trust them to kind of score a lot of points, and hopefully they can even get a late touchdown if they have to cover that. So TCU -3.5. We're gonna head up on to New York. North Carolina State versus Syracuse. The line was at 4 last time I checked it. I think Syracuse is overrated. I think this is one of those things. It's almost kind of like where they start out and beat bad teams and go 5-0 and have the best defense in the ACC. But who have they played? They played Purdue. They only beat UVA by 2. I mean, the biggest question is how healthy is Drew Leary, but I think he's healthy enough to win the game. I mean, he only throws checkdowns anyways. He doesn't have to be special. He just has to get the job done. NC State's defense is way better than anybody else Syracuse has faced. So it just feels weird to me that NC State's catching points. I know it's up in Syracuse, but it doesn't feel right. I feel like NC State is the clear better team here, and when I get that feeling, I have to go with it, so I'm going to go NC State +4. And then the last game of the slate here is USC versus Utah. Like I said, this is a stacked slate today. It's another heavyweight Pac-12 battle. This one was probably the hardest for me because USC's not been that consistent, but they score when they have to. And then Utah obviously is amazing at home and kind of struggles more on the road. USC does have an amazing +15 turnover margin. I'm pretty sure Caleb Williams threw his first interception just last week. So I'm going to kind of use the same reasoning I went with UCLA moneyline last week, and I took the +3.5 for the show because we do spreads. I just don't know if Utah can score with USC. I know at home their defense is way better, so that's one thing that scares me. And their game is just controlling ball. If they can keep Caleb Williams off the field, I think that they can win this game. I think that they can. The Trojans. I think that the Trojans can get the couple of stops that they need to allow Caleb Williams and this high-powered offense to kind of get going and cover 3, maybe even win the game. So that's the slate for today. Let's see how we do.